Welcome to Worship Tutorials. We are going to learn the song Praise You Anywhere by Brandon Lake on the electric guitar. Today, we have a lot of content around this song, all linked below. Bradford and I, and Nick was part of that too, we did a video talking about what we think about this song, the theology behind it, that kind of thing. We've got a playthrough of this song, so if all you really want to do is just watch somebody play it, and that helps you learn without any of the teaching and talking, that's linked below. And we have patches for this song available for Line 6 and Fractal hardware presets, so you can just push buttons and get these sounds. All of that in the description at worshiptutorials.com. If you have not subscribed to the channel here, Worship Tutorials, yet, don't know what you're waiting for. All this kind of good stuff coming at you all the time. You don't want to miss it, so hit the subscribe button, click the bell, so you'll know when the next video comes. So we're in the key of B, 108 BPM is the tempo that we're gonna use. That's where it was recorded as well. I'm gonna show you what to do if you're the only guitar player, or maybe you've got two guitar players, some alternate parts you can play, kind of distill the whole thing down. That's how I approach the playthrough as well. All right, so the intro of the song is the main hook, the main riff. It's also the main vocal line. Praise, give him praise in the highest place. The guitar does the same thing. Do, 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 do. All right. It is the memorable part of the song, so I would absolutely play this part if you're the only guitar player. I would do this to sort of establish the melody. At least in the intro. So, like I said, we're in the key of B. Now, I'm going to show you the C shape, the C major. It's not in the key of B. All right. You can move this C shape up and down the neck to get different chords. That's C, that's D, that's E, this is G. All right. A, B. There we are. So there's our B. Made out of a C chord. Now, if you want to, you can voice it like this. All right, so you can also think of this as a D shape right on the top. So it's like the top of this C chord. There's the top of it as an open C. Here's the top of this chord as a B major chord. I got my index finger on the 11th fret, spanning the GBE strings, and then my middle finger is on the 12th fret of the B string. That makes a B. This note right here is a B, same as an open B, right? So this is kind of where we're starting. This is also a position of the G sharp minor pentatonic scale, which is the relative minor in the key of B. Okay, so this is where we're gonna hang out to play this part. Now, if you do the song down in A, you just move this all down 2 frets, for example. All right, so we're gonna start on the 12th fret. That's a B of the B string, that's a B. 12th fret of the B string is B, all right? And then we'll go down to the 11th fret, back to the 12th, to the 14th, all right? Back to the 12th, to the 14th, to the 16th, up to the 17th, 16th, 12. That's it. That's like that part. Turn a little sound on so you can hear it. Okay, so a few things about playing this. Strike the note, or you pick the note on the first note, the 12, then the 11th, and then there's a hammer onto the 12th, and then pick it on the 14th. And you kind of use that pattern, back to the 12th, hammer to the 14th, and then pick on the 16th. All right, like that. I'm gonna play it very slowly for you so you kind of see how it goes. Ready? 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's how you play it. Now I'll play it up to speed with all the sounds. So as you can hear, there was a lot of sauce going on there. So let's talk about how you get that sound. I'm using a Line 6 Helix. If you're using pedals, I'll kind of talk about the different effects that you might need. If you're using a Helix, you can just grab this Helix patch and you got it. You don't have to do anything. Just load it. All right, so first thing I've got is a compressor, and my bass tone is, I'm using based on a Matchless DC30 amp model. I've got all the effects going into the front of those amps. There's 2 of them in stereo. And the first thing is, so there's a compressor, and then we've got a pitch effect on, like a POG type of effect, but only an octave up. It's mixed pretty subtle. And then big overdrive sound of what I'm going for. So I've got, on this patch, I've got a King of Tone and an 808 on at the same time. This is sort of my biggest lead sound in this patch. From there, there is a chorus. Now I'm actually going to use 2 different sounds for chorus in this song. So if you've got a chorus pedal that does presets, you might want to employ them on this, because the next sound that we're going to get to in the verse has a lot of chorus, or like a rotary, if you've got that. We'll get there in a second. So there's a chorus, there's a quarter note delay that's on a pretty ambient type of a setting. So a high level of mix and a lot of repeats, and it kind of washes out at the end. That's how you get this sound. Oh, and finally, a big reverb as well. Big ambient reverb. All of that together. So it's like a big ambient lead sound with chorus. I'll play it one more time so you can hear it. We're actually going to come back to this sound. The last thing that I have when it comes to this tone, at the very end of the chain on this Helix patch, I have a gain block that just boosts the overall level of the patch by 1.5 dB. So it doesn't affect what goes into the amps at all. It's just it's almost like your sound person in the back just pushes your fader up whenever you play the solo part. That's built into the patch. We're going to come back to this sound because it's the same sound that we use for the chorus lead line coming up in a bit. All right, moving on to verse 1. There is a really cool part that we hear in verse 1. I call it this big mod part. So the first thing we can do is teach how to play it. It almost sounds like a synth. So remember, we're in this sort of B major scale. This is the shape. We're actually going to start this part on the G string on the 14th fret. We're going to slide it up. So there's a couple ways you could actually play this. The notes sound like that. And when you hear it, it's wah, 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 wah. That's how it sounds. So we're going to start on the 14th fret of the G string. We're going to slide up to the 17th fret, 3 frets. And then we're going to grab the 20th fret of the B string with our pinky, and then come back down. So 14 on the G, to 17th on the G, to 20 on the B, back to 17 on the G, back down to 14. All right, and we play it, it sounds like this. All right, it sounds real boring without any of the stuff on it, but that's what I hear. It's not as hard as it looks if you're not used to doing something like this. It's just about muscle memory, getting your fingers where they go. All right, so I'll play that slowly, and it kind of comes in the verse. You definitely will hear this part, so just listen for it in the verse, and you'll hear it. All right, one more time. All right, now to get the sound for this, first of all, I'll just play it for you. This is kind of how we built it in this Helix patch. It's not exactly like what I hear on the album. I don't know what they're doing to get that sound. It could be some post-processing happening to it as well, but this is what I did. So just like we had that intro tone, I've got a compressor on, I've got my big overdrive on, so I've got my King of Tone and my 808 on again. Then I'm running into a chorus with a really high mix, like 100% mix, and set fast, so it's almost more like a vibrato, or you can kind of get type of a rotary type of a sound with this as well. You could use a rotary to get this sound if you'd like. And I don't have any delay on this, but I do think I hear kind of a slap back happening. And then finally, I have a high mix on a short reverb, like a hall reverb that's kind of short, so it just decays real quick. Again, it sounds like this. All right, it's an interesting sound, it's pretty unique, and it happens very prominently in verse 2. Moving on to the chorus. Now, this is the lead part of the chorus, but you really prominently hear this going on. So I'm just gonna play it for you and then I'll teach it to you. This is with a basic kind of a tone. So again, we're all kind of, just the whole thing just kind of sits right around this shape. It's why it's so important to kind of learn this shape and this scale that lives right there, okay? So we start with sort of like an inverted power chord or a power chord on these higher strings, I like to think of it. So I'm gonna bar the E, A, D, G, B strings with my index finger on the 9th fret, put my ring finger on the 11th fret of the G string, and then my pinky on the 12th fret of the B. And really all you need is your index finger to hit the 9th fret on the D string, but I like to keep it barred. All right, so the first thing you do is, and this is a B, right? This is an octave. So it's really a 1 and a 5. So there's your B. So you strum that B chord. Praise, give him praise, give him praise. The next thing you do is you hit, this is kind of this little bend part. With my pinky, hit the E string on the 14th fret. And then I like to come down with my ring or my middle finger on the 11th fret of the B, and then do a bend, a half step bend, right? And then come down here to the 13th fret of the G string. All right, so, okay. The next thing you do is come down to the 11th fret of the G string and slide up to the 16th fret. And then hit the B string with your index finger on the 14th fret, okay? And then do that bend part one more time. 14th fret of the E, bend from 11 to 12 on the B string to the 14th of the G string, okay? And then the end of it is that vocal melody part that goes 16 to 14 on the, it's kind of like borrowing from the lead part, which you're going to play again in just a second. 16 to 14 on the B, again, back to the 12. And then you hit the lead part. So putting it all together, I'm going to kind of count through it while I play. 2, 3, 4, praise, give him praise for 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. Whoops, you got to get that up on that higher fret. Okay, so and now I'm going to play it at speed with all the sounds. Remember, we built this sound for the intro. It's kind of the same, just doesn't have that gain boost at the end. Sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. Quickly, again, to build that tone for this part, you're going to do a pog, upper octave, into big drive, into big quarter note delay, into a chorus, into a big reverb. That's it. Okay, so verse 2, there's only one guitar part that comes in. There's a lot of synth, and it's still got that guy's going the whole time underneath. But at the end of verse 2, there's like an ambient part that you hear strummed before it goes into the chorus, and it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. All right, so to play this, essentially you're walking down from a G sharp. You could also play this G sharp minor shape to an F sharp to an E. So you're going 6, 5, 4 in the key or in the scale. All right, so it's like a G sharp minor to an F sharp to an E. But to play that, you can bar across the D, G, B strings on the 13th fret with your index finger, and then grab the top of that chord, which would be the 16th fret of the B string with your pinky. So you're essentially forming a little chord here. So 13, 13, 16. I guess that's kind of like, you could think of that as a G sharp major, but it sounds like it works as a minor right here in this part of the song. So you're on, I'm just going to call it here 13, 16. You move down to 11, 14. That's going to be your F sharp major. And then finally down to play your E major would be 9 and 12. Right? So it just walks down that scale. And then you're into the chorus. All right, to get that sound, I've basically got that long ambient quarter note delay. That's the main delay in this song. The lighter, not the super heavy, but the lighter chorus sound, and a big reverb. Again, here it is. And it sets you up to go straight into the chorus. Okay, so you play the chorus through a few times after that, and then you get to this drop section that takes you into the bridge. So after I come out of the chorus, I like it kind of ends on this. You kind of come back to this B. This is your home bass. Now, to play this part, I like to roll all the tone off, or almost all the tone off, and kind of sit here on this B note on the 12th fret of the B string, go to the 11th fret. Okay? And when your ambient kind of tone is on, and this is setting you up for that bridge part. Faithful all my life, whatever it goes. Something day and night. I don't remember. But that's the bridge, right? So, all my life. Da, 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 da. This is the part. So to play that, you're going to start on the 12th fret, and I'm doing it all on the B string. 12 to 11 to 7 to 9. 12, 11, 7, 9 with the tone. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. You hear how I'm kind of hitting these notes? I'm hitting them so that it's that quarter note delay sounds like dotted eighth delay. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's like you're playing that all throughout the bridge and slowly rolling your tone knob up so it kind of brings the definition back. Now, when the bridge picks up, you're going to turn some gain on. That sound was really just an ambient clean tone with that quarter note delay. So just the delay and a big reverb. When the bridge picks up, the part kind of changes a little bit. So you're still going to get this. But there's some extra notes going on inside of there. It sounds like this. And then it walks up. You've seen so far to play this, we're making this shape again. It looks like a D chord with your middle finger on the 12th fret of the B string. We're gonna kind of take that same shape. So now we've got 12 on the B string, and we're kind of alternating between the B and the G strings, and your index finger's on the 11th fret of the G. Then you're playing both on the 11th fret. Then you're going to drop down and play the 7th fret of the B string with your index finger, and the 8th fret of the G string with your middle finger. Then you're going to come up and do both of them, both strings on the 9th fret. All right, so I'll play that very slowly. It sounds like this: 2, 3, 4. On the last part of that, it walks up instead of down. So again, we're starting on the 12th fret of the B, 11th fret of the G. Keep your index finger planted, go up to the 14th fret of the B. Now, if you got the reach, you can do it here. That's hard for me to do it and keep it in tune. So we're gonna go 12, 14, 16 on the B. When we hit the 16 on the B, you can drop down to the 16 on the D. It's that same note. 17th on the B. Back to 16. All right, so I'll play both of them all the way through with sort of that big bridge tone. 2, 3, 4. All right, to build that tone, we're just using sort of a bigger overdrive, not the biggest overdrive sound. So I've got the 808 on. There's a bit of chorus going on here as well, and then that big delay or big reverb to get that sound. That's pretty much our big bridge sound. Straight out of that, it goes into the last chorus. Now, in the last chorus, it does a little bit of a different thing. So, praise, give him praise, give him praise. There's kind of a drop. So praise, give him praise in the highest place. And then the guitar comes in, and it's going to sound like this when it comes in. That last chorus is a little different than the other choruses, but it's really just all kind of the same stuff. You're gonna slide up into that sort of a G sharp minor shape. So you're gonna slide from the 11th to the 13th fret on the G string, the 12th fret of the B to the 11th fret of the E, and you're just forming the top of a G sharp minor bar chord. So again, and then you've got this bend part that we already did. It does it again, except this time it goes back to the 12th of the B, and then it ends with that top part of the lead part. Okay, and then the outro is just the lead part like 4 times. All right, so I'm gonna play that part slowly, and then I'll play it at tempo with the tone. All right, so praise, give him praise. It drops. Here the guitar part comes in. All right, from there, we're in the chorus. So for this, we're using that same chorus tone now at tempo with the same tone, which is the same chorus tone we've been using. And that's it. All right, so that's like the lead parts of the song. Now, if you are a second guitar player, or if you just want to play more rhythmic parts that fill everything up a little more, especially during the choruses, it's pretty simple. So we've already established this is our B, this is the 1 chord, so the chorus goes B to E. All you got to do there is pull your middle finger off the 11th fret of the G string. I'll quickly go through how I made this chord for the B. Bar on the D, G, B strings on the 9th fret, which if you just play these, that's going to become your E. We'll get there in a bit. Put your ring finger on the 11th fret of the G, index finger or pinky finger on the 12th fret of the B. That's a B. To play an E, just lift your ring finger off. Next chord is a G sharp minor. So to build that, this is our bar chord G sharp minor. There's the G sharp. We're only gonna play like the top half of it. So you can play, you know, all the way from the D string all the way through. But really all you need is put your ring finger on the 13th fret of the G. Again, we're on that B note right there, 12th fret of the B string, 11th fret of the high E. So from the G sharp minor, that's he is. Now worthy is an F sharp major. So to make your F sharp, take that E chord we just did, move it up 2 frets. So you're here on the G sharp minor. Okay, you're barring across the 11th fret, and then you're grabbing the 14th fret of the B string. Back to that E. He is. Back to that F sharp. Worthy of all of our. All right, so you're just basically playing through the chord progression of the song. So you can just play it down here, power chords. B, give him praise, in the highest E plays. Give him praise, in the highest G sharp minor is F sharp. E is worthy of all of our praise. Okay, so this is just a basic rhythm tone, tube screamer into the amps. Sounds like this. I'll play it both ways. Down low, 2, 3, 4. All right, now higher up. at all that bending on these on this string right here. Has made it go a bit out of tune. But you get the idea of how you play through this song. That is Praise You Anywhere on electric guitar. Again, links below for all the resources that we have for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. More of this coming all the time. See you in the next one. Bye.